Hello and welcome to another episode of Badman Reviews. And this week I was having some issues with the fact that I currently don't have my camera. I had to lend it out to someone, so I wasn't going to make a video this week just due to that fact, making it kind of hard to do anything. But I decided to kind of just throw something together with some gameplay and just my microphone and give you guys a quick talk of things I wanted to talk about. Mostly what I thought the future of Spyro should be like. You know, I was talking earlier about Crash Bandicoot and the future of Crash Bandicoot and what holds for him because he has a new game. But I'm interested in the future of Spyro as well. With Crash Bandicoot back on the saddle, I guess you would say, there's a lot of talk about Spyro going around. Not as much as Crash Bandicoot, obviously, but there's still, whispers here and there of Spyro and his currently stuck in Skylanders hiatus. Now, I am one of the people who don't really mind seeing him in Skylanders. It's nice seeing Spyro actually, be something to younger children now and to continue his legacy, but with a different generation. But for those of us who grew up with him in his older years of the PlayStation 1, there's a missing piece for us that we, want to see come back. And I think would be really enjoyable for the kids who grew up with Skylanders Spyro to see Spyro in his own game. Now, with Crash Bandicoot coming back, and if Crash Bandicoot does well, I can see a possibility of a Spyro remaster, but that's not quite what I would enjoy, obviously. We're not totally into the whole remaster idea. We'd kind of like to see a new game, but for both Crash and Spyro. But the thing is, what would we do with Spyro? Now, a lot of you would say, well, obviously just go back to the old, Spyro 1, 2, 3, the really good ones. Well, not so much 3, but definitely 1 and 2. And I could say, yeah, those are fantastic ideas. Like, Spyro 2 is a fantastic game, and Spyro 1 is also a great collectathon. But truthfully, I don't know if you guys have played the more recent Spyro games that very much got glossed over for, I know it was on the Wii, and other ones, the Legend of Spyro. These newer games were actually fantastic. They were probably some of the best Spyro games in the series. I would kind of like to see a revisit to those, that kind of game style, because there was a lot in those games that kind of got looked over by the community. I guess the Spyro community at that point in time was kind of dead and no one was really talking about it until, mostly because of the GameCube games that came out before Enter the Dragonfly and so on. We kind of stopped caring about Spyro in the new games that came out afterwards, which led to a lot of people not knowing about these games. I recently didn't start seeing these games until maybe about a year ago, and realizing that Spyro actually had some fantastic games before getting sucked into Skylanders, which sucks because he had a great thing going, but also didn't suck because Skylanders brought Spyro back into the limelight. Yeah, his games were fantastic at that point in time, but no one was playing them, no one was caring anymore, which sucked. And then when he was brought back into Skylanders, people were like, what? Spyro's in this kiddie game now? What is this? I want the old Spyro back, even though no one cared about him up until that point, really, besides, a small fan base. But now that everyone has their eyes on Spyro and they're really caring about him and Crash coming back, it would be fantastic to have them go back to that style from the Wii game. And I would love to see what they could do with it, and possibly mix it even more in with the original collectathon feel that the original games had. Though I don't know how. I feel like that would give it a decent difference from Crash Bandicoot. I would also like to see, with the PlayStation 4 coming out and a lot of very, very good exclusives for the PS4 happening, I'm interested in a possible Battle Royale coming back. A lot of people weren't huge into PlayStation All-Stars, but I think a sequel could improve on it and make it even better because it had a good idea. It just wasn't implemented super well. There was a lot of characters that were obviously way overpowered compared to other characters. Some characters were just horrible, like the God of War he was just ridiculous. He was so much better than everyone else, and it was very obvious. There was a lot of that. A lot of people whose specials just didn't do anything, and then other people's specials who were just amazing. So if they could really fine-tune that and make a new PlayStation All-Stars, that would be fantastic. But you know what would be even better? Actually having Crash Bandicoot and Spyro in it. I don't get how they weren't in the first one. It's like, those are the PlayStation All-Stars. They are the All-Stars, and they weren't in the PlayStation All-Stars game. So I would love to see them back in with other characters, obviously Ratchet and Clank, because that series is still going on, Sly Cooper, and even characters from new games that are coming out, maybe a character from The Last Guardian. There's just so much that we could do with a new PlayStation All-Stars 2, which I really want them to make, though I feel like they probably aren't going to. These are just a few thoughts that I'm having since I've recently bought a PlayStation, and I'm just kind of thinking more along the lines of what they could do with the PlayStation and all that kind of stuff. And Spyro was the huge thing that came to mind, the future of Spyro, and then when thinking about Spyro and Crash, it was like, why aren't they winning PlayStation All-Stars? You know, these are the kind of things that I just think of. I'm starting to kind of ramble here, but I'm sorry, I don't have my camera, so I couldn't really do any kind of cut content or fan-made games or anything like that, but let me know what you would like to see me do next week. Cut content, fan-made games, a top 10, a review, and let me know what franchise you would like to see me cover. Cut content on, I don't know, Nickelodeon games, like rare games like Conquer and stuff like that, or fan-made games for, I don't know. I'm starting to run out of ideas for fan-made games, seriously, so if you guys could throw some in the comments below and even possibly link me to some really good fan games, that would be fantastic, because there isn't a lot of them, and I've covered a decent amount of them, and it's funny because some people are like, do Crash Bandicoot fan-made games part 2, and there's really, truthfully, there's not, like, maybe I missed 1 or 2 Crash Bandicoot fan games, like, not enough to make a whole video on. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think I should be covering. Let me know what you want to see. These are the things I want to know. Thank you all for listening to me ramble on for 7 minutes about dumb stuff. And hopefully next week can be more fantastic with even better videos. Sorry this week was a little bit of a downer, but next week should be fabulous. Until then, I'll see you all in the next video.